Hello and welcome to Conscious Gatherers. Today's date is April the 1st, 2025. So, those of you that are tuning in to April Fool's jokes, haven't really done that yet, but I'm sure I will in a bit. And I don't think we're going to tell any, well, we'll see, tell any jokes.
Yeah, I don't know any.
Yeah, we can come up with quite a few, but what we're going to tell you today is actually not a joke. So, we're going to share a lot of information regarding some of our friends, our off-roadly cosmic friends that came in and gave us some information, as well as what we both intuited through our insights. So my name is Beverly Thompson.
And I'm AJ Royce.
So,
You can call me Royce, Royse. Sometimes it transcribes as Roy, and that's not right.
you don't look like a Roy, but whatever. So this is our episode 143 in season 6. So we're already up to 143. And even though we do this about every other week. And again, we'll be back in a couple of weeks. And then after that, we might shorten it just a little bit because I do have a conflict where I'll be doing some traveling. So we'll let you know on that, those that want to listen to us live. So anyway, we welcome you and we appreciate your being here. All right. We have talked about insights, and I think at the last episode, Royce, that you mentioned what that is. So would you please do a quick synopsis of what is an insight?
Well, it's actually us listening to ourselves, listening to that inner higher voice that you can call it the God within. So that's what it is in a nutshell.
Yeah, in fact, that's going to come up in today's podcast about the God within. So we're going to get to that in just a couple more minutes. Let's see what else. What we're talking about our insights and what we intuit within ourselves. And then what we're going to start out with today is this morning when we can tell when our cosmic friends, and we've mentioned the Ashtar Command Center, called the ACC.
Everybody has a three-letter, don't they?
They do, but Ashtar Command Center. So I could see them assembling this morning, even before Royce got here, and it was interesting because I could see them talking and then conversing with one another. It's a small group. I'm guessing around 7 or so people. Yeah. They look very human to me, and which I think they basically are. And in fact, they're not. And as we were going a little bit back and forth with them, they're not presenting themselves as anything better than ourselves. No. I think they kind of joked around and said they got the 40,000 foot view. People will talk about that.
Yeah, just a little bit more expansive view, but they don't set themselves higher than us.
They do not. So occasionally we'll get whatever, or shrug the shoulders and it's like, okay, whatever. So it's fun to communicate. Yeah, we did get a thumbs up today, didn't we? Yes, we did. So all right, we're going to start there. As earlier on, when I could see what to me it looks like a portal opening, and then you'll see a being that, this is all ethereal, but we can see it with our eye, and so they will come into what I term the room that we're in, and so they did, and then I had heard there's an Arcturian ship coming. Okay, and Arcturian, Arcturus, and that's one of the galaxies. Is it a galaxy?
It's more like a star system, I think.
Star system, yeah. I guess that makes more sense. Mm-hmm. Yeah, a star system that very prevalent here on Earth at this time. I think there's a lot of you may be Arcturians that are listening, and so you may have a really heartfelt connection to this star system. And there's a reason for that, because you still work with them, or you have had many incarnations there, or at least one. It might be all of the above. And by the way, I think we all do travel, and out of body, and or with body. Sometimes we don't know where our body goes with us, but we don't have that recollection. Many people have had those experiences and come back, and they're laying in their bed a little bit differently, or missing time, or memories start coming to them where of where they have been and who they communicated with.
Yeah.
So some of those things may creep in your life, and you're like, where did that come from? Right? Because you experienced it. So don't let that scare you. It's just the way it is. We all are multidimensional, each one of us. And even though these physical bodies, we see ourselves as three-dimensional because of the denseness of the body, and that is changing. So we're moving, actually, I think we're actually in the fourth dimension, moving, if you want to use the term dimensions, but moving into the higher frequencies. Okay? Any addition to that?
Well, the way I look at our experience is that there's really just one thing, but in order for us to be able to comprehend it, we separate it into, like if you're looking across the table and you can see a curtain, you open the curtain and you have a more expansive view.
Mm-hmm.
So when your vibration raises, your internal vibration, you're able to comprehend and get a glimpse of more of what's in this one great big thing. So you may start off saying it's a three-dimensional thing, but the more your view expands, it's more inclusive of what's already there. So
okay, good.
We designate it as dimensions. Is it really? That's up to you to decide, I guess.
Just the words that we use.
Yeah.
And as you have mentioned numerous times in previous podcasts, that words are very limiting.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's the best way we can explain things. But, okay, going back to what we were talking about earlier, because I was hearing the Arcturian ships are coming, and I heard that we heard that from the Ashtar Command Center. And I'm asking, why are they coming? And even though we've talked about, different reasons why different civilizations from other star systems are here or on their way or surrounding Earth, I think all of the above. But anyway, regarding the Arcturian ship, they are dispensing information regarding our galaxy and specifically our solar system. So we're going to learn more about Earth and our solar system, probably the moon, and our other planets. So it's going to be exciting as this information is dispensed. And when we say dispensed, I'm seeing it more of a download in people, where they're just going to know this information, and they will speak it out. Well, do you have any other idea on that?
No.
Okay. All right. The other thing that we were told by the Ashtar Command Center is that, and it may have to do with this ship too, that some people are being removed off of Earth, and because they need to go, because they're not to disrupt the infusion of the higher energies of light that have been coming in. And so some of these very dark ones, and some of them are non-human, some are human, they're being removed off of the Earth. So that's going to happen. We're going to wonder what the heck happened to some of these people. And I think some of them we might be surprised at. Are we ever going to know who they are? I don't know. Maybe some. And after a while, does it really matter? Just know that the darkness is being removed off of the Earth. It's coming to light. Either you absorb the light and let that become within you, or you're out of here. So pretty much. We of saying it bluntly. Okay. All right. All right. Let's see, anything else on that you can remember with what they had to tell us?
Well, they sent in a nice small pillar of light.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we got to stand in that. It was quite, it felt very good.
Yeah. Very
Felt renewing.
energizing.
Mhm.
Yes, yeah. It wasn't, it's probably getting used to where I'm at on the screen. It's probably about this big around, just coming down, and we could see it. And then we both stood in it, and you went first, and I went second. And then I was like, whoa, and then just
Yeah.
let that integrate. And so when I was talking earlier about, some of the people being removed or the infusion of light, etc. This is some of the stuff that's happening. People are getting downloaded, and they do use those terms. That's what it is. Kind of, it's like a computer. You're being downloaded with the information, and a lot of it's already within you. It's just being sparked to come forth. And I'm going to get into that in just a bit.
Okay.
So, all right. Would you please share your insight for today?
Okay. The fire began as an ember, stirred to life by a great wind, bringing change wherever it blows. The wind releases the spark from the ember, and the spark flares into life, either renewing or destroying wherever it travels. We, as members of the human race, have burning embers deep within our souls, and those embers are brought to life by the whims of the wind. Which way does the wind blow? Why is it blowing, and where did it come from? It is a wise man who knows which way the wind blows. He knows whether to face it head on or to turn his back to it. It is wise to know the nature of the wind itself. It is wise to know the difference between kindness and maliciousness. For kindness is as a gentle breeze blowing across your face, but maliciousness is as a squall catching you totally off guard as it slams you in the back. The gentle breeze stirs the flame of a campfire, but the squall ignites a forest fire. It is temperance which leads the way for the wise man, leading him away from explosive confrontations, so that his inner ember remains intact. And so, let us approach each other with kindness, renewing our bonds, and let us squelch the fire of maliciousness with temperance before it has a chance to destroy us. So I think that says a lot right there.
That whole thing says a lot. You're going to start looking at the wind in a whole new way. And then what's going on right now, you're going to let it be a squall or a nice gentle wind.
Yeah. So, how we interact, how we react, that's, if we can pause so that we can catch our equilibrium, maybe we'll be able to proceed forward in a much more balanced way.
And that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my insight corresponds with what you got, and a bit different.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they go together. Corresponds. So I will share that, and then we can any conversation after that. And any of you that are watching um, have any questions after I'm done sharing my insight, please do and see if we can come up with an answer or anything that you're perceiving in your life. But here's mine. It said the transitioning has begun. And as we go through this transitioning, many this is people, will go through peaks and valleys, an emotional roller coaster. Oh, we've seen that. A lot of outbursts out there. Yeah, the wind. Because you are letting loose those constructs you put on yourselves. Think of that. It's not necessarily what somebody else did to you. Remember that. Some people will say, let go and let God. So what does that mean to you, to let go or to let God? What's that mean to you? I mean, maybe it's something a little bit different to everybody. But here's a little more information that I received. Let God, that omnipresence within you, blossom. The springtime, at least here in this part of the world, it's springtime. So let that God within blossom. Are we going to hold on to our old ways tightly? Some of them just don't want to let loose of what they know. Look at what you are grasping onto. Does this serve you? The world you thought you were living in is coming to an end. And I'm going to insert this because working on my next book, I came across something that I wrote back in February the 1st of 2023. I thought it was pretty good. So I'll share it right now. I was told, because I once said, I'm not sure if it was this incarnation or another incarnation. Don't know. I don't think it really matters. But I once said, I will take my hand into the unknown, for there lies the ever unfolding creation of love. Like, wow.
Yeah. It's profound.
Yeah, we're creating our own reality. It is. Yeah. And we're going into that unknown. And it's hard for people to really grasp that and to let go. All right, we are on the cusp of a new living life, shutting down the shackles which grasp our inner beings so tightly. That inner being, that God within, is bursting forth. I said earlier, let it blossom. And so many new opportunities awaits us. And even though we've talked at the many changes that are going on in this world, in the last few years, but I think on a short-term basis, that we're going to see a lot of new opportunities in transportation and anti-gravitic vehicles. So move away from the using oil and gas. There'll be different ways of transporting us to and from. Foods and their way of farming, because I think that chemtrails have been talked about now for, we've been noticing them for what, 20 some years.
Yeah.
And, I don't think they're very good for us. So, I think that's going to stop. And so our foods will start becoming a little bit cleaner as our soils are being cleaned up. And then I think we're going to be doing some other type of farming with using, what's it called? Using hydroponics.
Hydroponics.
Thank you. Hydroponics. Yeah. So I think that it's already happening, but I think it will happen more, and we'll have
on a grand scale.
Yeah, on a grand scale. And I think there's plenty of food and land to nourish us all, the whole earth. And another thing that I feel is coming forth is engineering feats. that kind of goes along with some of the transportation. And some of the ancient structures are within that. Some of the ancient structures are being revisited. And I'm seeing a lot about the Tartarians and some of these grand, beautiful buildings. In fact, I saw one picture of one yesterday, and it looked like a castle in the middle of a desert. And then it showed the horse and buggy. And it's like, wait a minute. I mean, the two didn't even go together. You know, you've got this grand, talk about engineering feat. And then you have a horse and buggy. It's like, wait a minute, there's something else going on here. And so, a lot of people are saying, have we been lied to? Because of so many advanced beings have been here and built these beautiful edifices. In fact, I think on one of your insights that you got were from the Tartarians. So this is all coming to light, and I think it's very exciting. And so, how were these built? You think that was built by hand and a chisel? Perhaps some of it, but some things were built in a short period of time, and talk about engineering feats. How did that happen?
Yeah, things that we're not capable of doing, or we can't replicate it today. It's just
it makes no sense.
Beyond.
Yeah, and it's now we're starting to question, and people are starting to notice. So, to me, it's very, very exciting, and within all of this, our schools are definitely going to be transformed, and I think we're going to be moving away from this testing. We have to be on a certain level, which I agree to some of it, but I think our young people and older people, doesn't really matter, can learn so much more hands-on. And get some of the specialists in there to work with some of these kids, and then they grow with it. I just think the opportunities are endless and very expansive for the children and all of us.
Yeah, when it's open to a child being able to progress at their own level. Some kids are just, they're full on when they first start going to school, and they're ready to just, burst through and a lot further than what the grade that they're in. So,
they get bored.
Well, yeah, they do.
And then they start shutting down, and then they start looking at their phones and or their iPad.
Yeah, just think of how far we can go if we just set those little minds free, to go as far and as fast as they can.
That's working together too. And it's exciting for the kids. They're learning from one another. They get to say their point and let other ones do the same thing. And I just think the whole system is working together more closely. And so it starts in schools, our engineering feats, and our foods, farming, whatever your interest lies. I just see it as what I said there earlier, that a new world awaits you. And so the old is coming to an end, and then just letting go of that old system that no longer serves us. If it serves you, okay, that's up to you. But really look deep within before you answer yes or no. Okay. All right. Do you have any comments on that?
Not on that? No.
All right. Oh, I think we covered
Antarctica.
Oh, shoot. I forgot about Antarctica. Yes. All right. Yeah, we do have more to share.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. Go ahead.
Oh, our attention was being drawn to Antarctica a bit earlier today. I saw what looked like a ribbon spiraling counterclockwise, and it looked like it was going straight down through the planet Earth and widening at the bottom. And so I looked at the bottom. My attention was drawn to Antarctica, and I zeroed in on a tunnel burrowing into the snow. And at the bottom of this tunnel, there was water rushing out of it. So I just kept on, my consciousness kept going with the tunnel until it just kept getting brighter and brighter. And then finally, the tunnel opened to this large chasm. I guess you'd call it.
A cavern?
Yeah, and it was rock at that point. And there was a huge waterfall in front of me. It had a stone that almost kind of like pagoda type at the top of it. And then uh, there was also to my right, there was a wall that was structured. It was an ancient wall that was structured by these large boulders that had been shaped, and they were configured in designs. So it was quite a beautiful. I don't know if it had specific meaning or not. I would think that it probably did at some point, but I don't know what it meant. But it was quite intricate. And then I saw a um, a well, to the right of where the waterfall was, there was a craft, what we would call a UFO, and it was spinning. And we were questioning whether the spinning had just started, whether it had been like, what's the word I'm looking for? Fired up right then.
Activated?
Activate. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Activated right then, or if it had been going on. I really do not know. But it was spinning at that particular time. And there were some beings who were looking up at it, watching it,
Mhm.
and they were not human. They were humanoidish, but not human. They had suckers on the ends of their fingers.
Yeah. So
Um,
I could see them climbing up walls.
yeah,
Yeah.
very unusual beings.
Mhm.
But I thought, man, would be kind of neat to be able to go up walls like that, you know.
Yeah.
And then there was this other structure as well that was the walls were a lime green, and it looked like a modern type structure, like you'd expect to see white molding and lime green walls. It was out of place.
There's, yeah, like haven't looked this up yet because we just had this insight not long before this podcast, so we
Mhm.
haven't had a chance to look it all up yet. And that is that there is there have been reports of a building, or it's under the ice building in Antarctica, and with a real thick door that opened up quite easily if you know how to open it. And when you walked in, then the walls would light up a lime green. And I can't remember too much more of it, but I'm going to look it up. And if I do find it, I think there's a couple people that have done videos on it. I will post that on our YouTube page, so you can check it out. But it was like, whoa! So something's going on in Antarctica, and I know there's been a lot of people that have gone down there on excursions, and including presidents. And it's been some odd stuff. So there's a lot of high technology down there. Um, and my understanding that many of the Germans have gone down there, worked with some of the ships. We didn't talk about this earlier today, but but I have heard a lot of people talk about them. Anyway, say that some underground ships and working with the higher technologies. So I think more of that's going to be coming out.
Mhm. And there was something else about that lime green structure. Uh, there, at some point in the very near future, there's going to be an awful lot of information flooding forth from that particular structure. So,
That's our history of Earth. You think kind of what we were talking about, the Arcturian ship. And we're wondering if that was the same thing, but maybe not. But then we're going to get it from more than one way. And so hang in there. We're going to find out a lot more of humanity, the earth, why we're here, to experience, obviously, to create. But it's our whole vision is widening to really encompass our true essence of who we truly are.
Yeah, and we're coming to a point where the truth of the matter, where we really come from, who we really are, what we are capable of doing, cannot be held back from us anymore, because if from no other place the truth is becoming known within us, and we know that we're not something capable of being held back.
No. We've got such a beautiful mixture of our DNA and those strands of DNA that have been dormant are alive and coming more alive, and then more of this information that is coming out within us. And we're talking about downloads earlier, and some of those downloads are activations to already activate what's already in us. That makes sense. Okay. All right. It's like, wow. So it's to me, I remember one time well, more than once I heard, "You will not be bored." so we may need a rest, but I just think it's going to be so exciting and a lot of fun,
Yeah, we're about ready to burst onto the scene. We're we're like, about to burst free right now. It's a very exciting time to be here on this planet doing what we're doing. So keep up the good work.
Yeah. We're all in this together, so we all have our own missions, and ours is to share with you. And I assume we got more, and we're going to find out what that is. So
yeah, we're learning more about ourselves as each moment ticks by. Like we've talked several times about just a few years ago, what we thought we knew about ourselves, because that's all we can really talk about. It's like the difference between night and day.
Our own expansion is enormous, so
Yeah.
it's really fun.
Well, so you're in the same boat.
I remember when I first started expanding, it's like the more I knew, the more I realized I didn't know.
Yeah.
So then I thought, okay, I really know a lot. Then all of a sudden it's like, maybe not.
Yeah. Then the next wave comes.
Yeah, it's like, oh gosh, here we go. So dig in, everybody. Remember, it's up to you. Let go of what no longer serves you. And if you're not sure what that is, then ask.
Yeah.
If it makes you feel kind of yuck, then it's like, is that really serving you? Or is it something you need to look at, to let go of?
Yeah.
So it's like,
And you are the only one who can live your life. You cannot live somebody else's life. So if you find yourself living somebody else's life, stop and look. Take a moment to actually see what's happening. And then if you're ready, move on.
Because you're not helping yourself, and you're obviously not at all helping that other person.
And you're not helping all of this.
Yeah.
It's all moving together, onward and upward, as I always say. That's the way we expand, is onward and upward, and that's the way our entire society is expanding. So
sometimes if you get in the way, you get slammed down.
Yeah.
You're like, I was just trying to help, and I wanted to be a friend. I wanted to do this for them, and blah 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 blah. And that's what a sentient beings to do, or a benevolent being. Yeah, but are you doing that for you, or are you really helping the other person?
Yeah, you have to be living your life and taking care of your own self in order to be able to be any good to anyone else. If you are not attending to your own garden, then
Mhm.
you're not going to have anything to eat. You're going to shrivel up.
Good way of saying it. Wow. Yeah. Well, thank you.
Well, thank you.
All right. Well, thank you all for joining us today. And does anybody have any questions or any comments? And we do appreciate the thumbs up and share. Please share this video because I think a lot of this a lot of people need to hear it. And, if they say it's a bunch of BS, so be it. Don't take offense to that. We don't, because they're not, ready to hear it. They're not going to hear it.
Yeah.
And if some of this you understand, some of it you don't, that's okay. Eventually you will or not. Again, each of us have our own path.
Yeah, and we're not tied to that.
No, well, that's we're doing what we love to do, and we love to share this. As you said earlier, we're learning an awful lot just coming together every other week. It's pretty amazing what comes through. So it's really fun for us. But
I have something.
okay, you please do.
I wanted to remember a very special being who left the earth plane in, I believe it was 2018. And that beautiful being was a gorilla, if I can get through this without choking up. A gorilla by the name of Koko. Koko was so expanded and taught us so much. Koko knew sign language. She had been taught, knew over 1,000 words, and had interactions with different people. Even Robin Williams, they had a beautiful encounter. You can look that up on the internet. It was just beautiful, and you can look up Koko's entire story. But very close to the end of Koko's time here, she gave a discourse, and this is what she said.
Take a breath.
I am gorilla. I am flowers. I am animals. I am nature. Man, Koko love. Earth, Koko love. But man, stupid. Koko cry. Fix earth. Help earth. Nature, see you. Thank you. So, perhaps you could look at the animal kingdom a bit differently through the eyes of one who actually knew how to talk using sign language and knew self-awareness, could look at herself in a mirror and see herself and recognize it was her and not something else looking back at her, another gorilla or something. She knew it was her. When she was asked the question, where do gorillas go when they die? She said, comfortable hole. And then she blew a kiss goodbye. That's incredible. Just please be aware of the consciousness within the animal kingdom. There are so many who are being mistreated. Stop it. Quit being stupid. Wake up. We can do better than this. So that's what I have to say about the animal kingdom. Please wake up.
Thank you. Okay. Well, we are waking up. Animals are awake. They have quite the consciousness.
Yes.
And you can see how they're being treated and how they treat you. But how animals work together. And telling a story about cat and a tortoise being best friends. Sometimes you never know,
Yeah.
how the animals are going to react, and what they bring into their lives, and then they bond. And so I think this is happening on this planet as well as other planets. We're bonding with our other cosmic friends. So it's here on Earth and it's beyond. So thank you. You'll be all right, Royce.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. And, I guess I said earlier, please do share. And any questions that you may have, we welcome those or not. So, and then just start looking at your own life and just be happy that you're here to bring in this new era of enlightenment. We are in enlightenment era, actually. I say bring it in, but we're already in it. And so hang in there. We love you all.
Yes, we do love you all very much. And through that love, I have very high expectations of what we can do when we put our hearts and minds to it. So please let us do our best. I love you and I thank you for staying.
Thank you. Bless you all. We love you. And good night.
Good night.